For the past 2 years, I have been raising 3 ant colonies, all the way from single queens to thriving empires. I have made so many videos about them already, so I decided to combine these videos into one giant episode. And we're gonna start with the evolution of my biggest ant colony. This ant colony has transformed. Nope, still can't do the YouTube voice. I tried and I failed again. So in 500 days, this ant colony transformed from a single queen with a few workers into an empire with hundreds of workers and multiple queens. Before we can get into the video, I'll have to show you one thing, and that is the game plan. So first I'm gonna show you the 500-day evolution, and after that you and me are going to a funeral. Yes, ants hold funerals. Sounds cool, right? And for the last part, we're going back to a previous video, because I said this. If this video gets 80,000 likes in a month, I will let them do that to my finger. I will let them do that to my finger. I'll probably regret this. And of course, I regret it because this video totally did not get 80,000 likes. I just want to know how it feels, okay? Yes, I'm weird. 500 days ago, something amazing happened, because that is when I made this transition. Still proud of that. You wouldn't believe how many times I had to slap this box to get that right. 17 times. I slapped that box 17 times. That's dedication. That first day, of course, I wanted to open the ants as fast as possible to see if they were still alive. And luckily, they were. Who would have thought that 500 days later, I would still be an ant daddy? Yeah, no, I heard it too. Never saying that again. This ant farm contained an arena and 2 nests. Yeah, I look like such a tool pointing at them. The ants are Messer and Galeris. A seed collecting. Oh damn, she looks pissed. So I had to hurry setting up the terrarium. Adding the sand is so easy. You'd have to be really dumb to mess this up. The only thing that can go wrong is that you add too much and the ants start digging in the arena instead of the nests. But nobody is that dumb. I guess my name is Nobody. I added some more nature, like 2 rocks, a dead stick and a dead cactus. And after that, it was just a matter of connecting all the parts. Et voila, time to add the ants. They weren't a fan of my shaky hands, I can tell you that much. That first day I gave them some food, but these ants tested the patience I don't have. They took a few days before they really started exploring. After that it went faster. They started to check out the rest of the arena and of course also started digging in there. I won't mention names, but someone added too much sand. On day 12, the queen set her first steps outside. But of course, she's the queen, so she didn't want to get her paws dirty. Paws, that doesn't sound right for ants. In the next couple of weeks, the ants moved out of the tube, but not in the arena where they're supposed to move and where they're moving later, but they moved into this corner here, just to move back into the tube a few days later. Why do they do this, you ask? Because they are antsy. Badoomt. I'm sorry. That was cool. I don't care what you say. I know it was dramatic, but on day 50, a legend was born. Yes, you all know and love him. It's Soldier Ant. Bob, the soldier ant, is a major worker that is a lot bigger than the other ones. You will see more of him later. The next weeks, I just kept giving them food and they kept shitting in the tube apparently. More food, more ants, more shit, more food, more ants, more shit. Yeah, you get the point. Nothing much changed until day 90. That is when I noticed something very wrong with the ants. You see that black stuff? That is mold. And mold is bad. Unless you try to deliberately grow it in a jar. But that is something for another video. Check out my Patreon if you want to see it already. This mold meant the ants needed to get ready for the big move. And of course, I was hoping they would move in the middle nest here, where they're supposed to go. But let's see what place they choose. At first, the queen didn't want to move, and only the workers were moving some seeds here. Let's follow some. They are skipping the middle nest and going right for the last one. They were not going where I wanted them to go. For now. They still had a lot of stuff to move, so they called in the help of Bob. Soldier ant, I just know you're waiting for it. Eventually, even the queen was ready. I apologize for the shitty footage. So the queen, workers and seed were moved. That means the last thing they have to move is the eggs and the larvae. And this right here is probably the larvae of another soldier ant. It is pretty big compared to the other ones, and even compared to an adult ant. You're probably asking now, when are they finally going to move into the middle nest? Geesh, stop asking. Yeah, I'm talking to myself here. No, I mean, I'm actually talking to myself. Currently, I'm sitting in my room, recording this nonsense. Anyway, on day 110, I noticed that the queen was gone, and that Bob was guarding the entrance here. I had a feeling they finally started moving into the right nest. Then I saw them feeding this larvae on top of it, and they were bringing it down into the nest. At that point I was certain they were moving in. Crazy strength they're showing here, by the way. You try carrying a baby with your teeth. No, don't try that. This right here was the real start of an empire. Yeah, on day 150 nothing much happened. Remember at the start of the video when I teased that this colony was gonna raise a lot of queens to keep you watching longer? Well, that part starts now. This right here is the original queen, and this is a new queen in the making. But this is just a start. By day 500 there are going to be at least 10 queens. Amazing, right? And yes, I said that again to keep you watching till the end. Because of course you want to see the ant queens and the ant funeral and the ant bite, right? Remember when I showed you the new queen pupae? Yeah, of course you do. That was like 10 seconds ago. Well, this is her. The next couple of months I just kept feeding the ant colony a lot. They were growing fast. That means they needed a lot of food, especially proteins. Over 7 minutes into this crappy video and we're still only at the first part. Don't worry, we're almost there, because we reached day 300. At this point, the colony really started to explode, especially the number of new queens. Here is one. You can recognize them, because the other ants are bowing for them. Oh, and they're giant and have wings. Here is another one. Yes, she's alive. I think. This right here is the original queen. You can recognize her because she's effing huge. She lost her wings already, and she's the only one that can lay eggs. The other queens would normally fly out and look for a one-eyed ant. But yeah, of course, that's not possible here. So they're demoted to workers, but at least they're fancy. This is still cool. I still don't care what you say. These are pupae, by the way, one of the life stages of ants. Might be important information 8 minutes into the video. This is also a pupae, but it's a queen one. You can tell because she's fancy. Here is another queen one, but she's less old. And these are normal ones. You can tell because they're not fancy. The ants also started to get more active in the arena. This makes it sound like they're in the Hunger Games, but that just means they're really starting to build a nest in there. And that is not because I put in too much sand at the start 500 days ago. It is because my dumbass put in more sand when I cleaned a few days ago. And yes, I used a mouth vacuum for this. That is just like a regular vacuum, but I'm the one that sucks. And this is the part where it went wrong. That is way too much sand. So of course, the ants started digging in here, which is not really a problem actually. So why I'm telling you all this, I have no clue. The next couple of weeks, or yeah, months I should say, I guess, I just kept feeding them proteins and seeds. And yes, the colony is growing very fast now. The seeds they are bringing to this popcorn nest right here, which acts like a food storage place. As for the proteins they get, they bring those down into the nest to feed the larvae. And all this food definitely had an effect, because by day 500, the amount of new queens and ants in general is crazy. They were everywhere. Here is a pretty new one. You can recognize them because they are fat, they got wings. I don't really know how many there are. It is very hard to count them because, you know, ants move. But there is one that I would recognize everywhere. One outcast. You can recognize her because she got wing. She's already running around like this for a few months and she doesn't really seem bothered by it. Now I will give you some time to put on something black because we're going to attend a funeral. Doesn't that sound like fun? The ants were a bit too active for a funeral, so first I decided to feed them a little in hopes they would calm down a bit. And yes, ants are fish. I really hope this helps to get them a little bit less active. Don't ask me why, but they really love this stuff. Yeah, they're definitely less active. Anyway, that right there is their graveyard. Whenever an ant dies, the body lays there for 2 days. This way the other ants can mourn their dead. Yeah, just kidding. They just don't know it's dead yet. After 2 days it starts smelling. At that point an undertaker ant. Yes, they have undertaker ants. How cool is that? Anyway, one of those picks up the body and brings it to the graveyard. This is usually a big pile of dead ants and trash away from the colony so diseases don't spread. This one here definitely is not an undertaker ant because it's going the wrong way. Maybe this one? Nope. Here is a real undertaker. She's bringing this dead ant to her last resting place, or at least until I clean this and throw it in the trash. Okay, now it's time for something fun, me getting bitten. But apparently that is easier said than done. Ants really don't want to bite. And don't worry, these tweezers are designed to not hurt the ants. I don't know if it's because my disgusting sweaty hands or something else, but they really don't want to bite. I don't want to bother them for too long. So yeah, if this video gets 80,000 likes, I will try this with a soldier ant. But that is not all for this colony. Later in this video, I'm going to give them an expansion. But first, I'm introducing the second colony. This ant colony currently calls this tube home, and after this video it will call this nest home. Pro tip for the guys, filming it from the bottom makes it look bigger. For the people that are about to click off, stop. This video is worth a watch, I promise. 1 year ago, or more specifically 369 days ago. 69. Yes, I'm a child. Anyway, a little over a year ago I got this ant colony. Back then, this tube was perfect as a nest. But now, the colony has grown so much that it fills the whole tube. So it's time to give them an upgrade. You will see them move everything into the new nest. But first, I need to clean up this mess. Because this is disgusting. Damn, this is some shitty footage. No, I mean, literal shit. This is ant shit. And those white strings you see all over the arena are pieces of cotton. They come from the tube, where they normally block the water reservoir, but the water is all gone, so the ants started taking out the cotton. Don't worry, I gave them new water, because as a biologist I can tell you, animals need water. Yeah, of course, more cotton they can take out for me to clean up. Thanks guys. What they are moving here are seeds, by the way. This is a seed collecting species. Yeah, that might need a bit more explanation. That means that they collect seeds. You're welcome. Of course, that also means that the main goal in life of these ants is to defeat the grasshoppers. I found their secret stash. I'm pretty sure they're hiding these seeds under there, so I would think they don't have food anymore and give them extra. Nice try, buddies, but that won't work. I'm not dumb. Yes, I am. Look who's guarding the entrance. Time to start cleaning and get my hands dirty, I guess. That is not what I meant. Yeah, I got no excuse for struggling here. This is kindergarten level. Although it's harder than it looks with one hand. No, it isn't. Nice, I deserve a sticker. Become a YouTuber, they said. It will be fun, they said. See, there's nothing glamorous about being a YouTuber. I'm just cleaning like every other normal person. Although normal might not be the right word to describe me. I know you guys love a good close-up. You know what's worse than cleaning up ant shit? Filming it. For the people that are still watching ant shit, I salute you. For the people that clicked off, F you. Your loss. You're going to miss some awesome footage of ants. I'm going to show the ants now. So by the end of the video, these ants will have moved out. Keep watching for that, I guess. Or don't. Wait, what is that? That is one giant worker. Her head alone is bigger than some of the other workers. The queen should be in here somewhere too, but I don't see her with all these workers. However, I did manage to film her later when she was moving into the new nest. I think you can now see why they need a new nest. These ants are not happy when you expose them to light, so better cover them back up. Almost time to connect a new nest, I promise. I just need to do one last thing. I just need to clean up this dead worker. Of course we need to give her a worthy, peaceful goodbye. And there is only one way to do this. Put her in one of my other ant colonies and see if she gets ripped apart. If I see this, my first guess is, yes she will. There we go. This reminds me of an experiment I did when I was studying to become a biologist. I needed to expose two ant colonies to each other's scent for a few months. I did this with dead workers and isolated pheromones. After a few months, I let the ants interact to see if they recognize each other and got used to each other. The results of this study were very interesting, because that shit didn't work. The ants still fought. Anyway, in the meanwhile, our dead worker here has been dragged all over the terrarium and now is being thrown in the trash. Rest in pieces. It is finally time to attach the new nest, because clearly they need a new place for their stash now that I found the old one. This tube is still a bit too long. And no, I'm not gonna make a that's what she said joke. It doesn't fit. That's what she said. There is one way to fix this. Fire. Fire will loosen up the tube and make it easier to fit. I hope that's not what she said. I still struggled for a while, but then eventually I made it work. Great success. Blocking off the entrance so the ants don't escape. Yeah, that piece of paper is totally going to stop the ants. Now I still need to fit the other end in the arena, which is easier said than done, so let's hope the struggle wasn't for nothing and they use the nest. Spoiler alert, they use it, otherwise this would be a very stupid video. Yeah, I had to remove the nest from the tube to fit the other end in, but it worked. I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick of this stupid video, so let's hurry things up. Putting some moisture in the nest, and then finally I let the ants enter. I said I let the ants enter. It took about an hour for Bob here to get in there. And I think Bob deserves some likes for being first. Let's ask AI how much he deserves. You heard it, and you better listen, because AI is gonna rule us all one day. After a while, this bigger worker followed. She just explored the whole nest. I always wonder what these ants are thinking when they get into a new area. Anyway, no other ants seem to want to follow into the new nest. But I had a great way to make it more appealing. Make it look like a red light district. This red foil blocks the light for the ants, and as you have seen before, ants don't like light. And then I sat here for another 2 hours before something happened. That is precious time I could have spent scrolling on my phone somewhere else. I was sick of waiting, so I went away for a while. And this is what I came back to. Finally, something is happening. Remember when I said this video was worth to watch? Well, that part starts now. For the next part, I need your help, because I have no clue what these ants are doing. It looks like they are licking each other. And these ones are not the only ones to do it. So if there is an ant expert in the comments, let me know what they are doing. My best guess is ants are cats. Confirmed. The ants are still not moving anything into the new nest, probably because they are too busy licking each other. I had hoped they would at least start moving their seeds into the nest, but so far, nothing. Then I had a big brain moment and decided to give them more seeds. That way, I could see if they accept the new nest based on where they put the new seeds. Everywhere, they put them everywhere. Some were putting them under this rock with a secret stash. Some were getting them from underneath there and taking them to the old nest, like this one. And the last group are taking them to the new nest. And it is in this group I found the me of this ant colony, because this ant is dumb. I have been watching it struggle for at least 15 minutes to get this one seed into the tube. Of course, it fell off. I'll just fast forward, otherwise this would be a video of 1 hour. I didn't think it was possible, but she gets even dumber. She walks past the pile of seeds and just keeps walking. Anyway, they moved all the seeds into the new nest. This probably took a lot of energy, so before they start moving the eggs, I gave them a cricket for proteins. I guess they needed it. I know it looks like they're doing nothing to the crickets, but they are tearing off small pieces and feeding them to the larvae. And these larvae are actually the only ones to eat the crickets. That is because adult ants don't eat solid food. They only eat the ant bread, which they make from the seeds they collect. So now they're trying to drag in the whole cricket to feed to the larvae. That is of course easier than to bring it to them piece by piece. Anyway, I have been serious for way too long. So the ants don't seem ready yet to move completely into the new nest. So maybe it helps if I cover it with a special device that blocks the lights completely. I think it's starting to work. There's the queen. Yes, this is it. The move. You won't believe how long I waited for this moment. I have been filming this colony for a few days now. Wait, what are you doing? No, no. Damn it. Back to the drawing board, I guess. Ants like dark. Ants no like light. I am so smart. Expose them to light, so they go look for a place without it. It's basically starting to work immediately. You can see them carry eggs, pupae and larvae. And eventually, the queen also started moving again. Hopefully, this time she will make it in. And there she goes. We will take a look inside the nest once they have moved in completely. I don't want to disturb them right now. They grow up so fast. They have already moved into a big nest, and they used to live in this small tube. I remember it like it was yesterday, which is not a good thing because it was today. Hey, look. I know that looks like a dead ant, but that is a pupae that is almost ready to emerge. And apparently, it's not easy to move it. A few hours later, the tube is almost completely empty, besides a few lonely workers. So let's take a look into the nest. I'm not opening it more, because that would disturb them too much. This colony is going to spend all winter hibernating in this new nest, and 200 days later, it's time to wake them. My third ant colony is also waking up, and they immediately started digging tunnels. Let's take a look. Currently, I have 3 ant colonies. 2 of them, colony 1 and 2, are chill. The ants in these colonies just walk around a bit, minding their own business. They are both hibernating right now. That means they're not a lot of work. Colony 3, however, is different. These ants are crazy. They are always active. They always need food. They just never stop. But this video is not about them. It's about the 2 hibernating colonies. And I'm about to disrupt their sleep. Yeah, they're going to hate this. Oh, and colony 2 here is about to make the big move. Am I ever going to stop with these ridiculous titles? This colony is going to move out of this tube. Where to, you ask? Well, you will have to keep watching, don't you? Come on, you got nothing better to do than to listen to my nonsense. You know it, I know it, we both know it, so sit back and relax. Let's start by waking up the Messer Barbarous colony, and I know it looks like they're in a dirty basement, but that is because they are in a dirty basement. It has the perfect temperature for their hibernation, but it has been going up fast lately. It almost looks unnatural. Yeah, never mind. Ow. I walked into the door. Now it's time to move them to a spot that is not a dirty basement. I'm trying to be careful so they're not woken up yet. I don't think they noticed. Damn it. They will settle down fast now they're in the light again. This room has a temperature that is in between the basement and the room they're eventually going to be in. For the Americans, that's 22.5 degrees Celsius worth of Fahrenheit. We're going to take a look inside the nest in a minute, and I promise you, you will be surprised at what you see. Ants. You will see ants. Spoiler alert. Let's check on the other colony. These are definitely not awake yet. Besides a few lonely ants, there's not a lot of movement yet. But I did notice two things with this colony. First, I took a look at their graveyard. Yes, ants have graveyards. And it seems they didn't lose a lot of ants during this winter. That's a good thing. Not that good is that the water in their tube is almost gone and it's growing algae. That is why they need the big move. Yeah, they need to move out. Before they can move out, they need to wake up. That is why I'm putting them in a warmer spot, so they can wake up slowly. You know how the smell of pancakes or waffles can wake humans up? Maybe the smell of a nice, dead, frozen, cut in half cricket can wake ants up. Looks yummy. This is a Lasius niger colony, by the way. The queens of this species have the longest recorded lifespan of any insects, at 29 years, so this colony could potentially outlive me. Let's be real, it will definitely outlive me, for 3 reasons. First, I'm male. Second, I'm really, really dumb. And third, I like to pick up dangerous animals whenever I see them. Fourth, I can't count, I am uncoordinated and I have very shaky hands. Anyway, in the meanwhile, some of the ants have found the cricket. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's better. I waited a few days to move colony 1 into their final spot. I do it this way to acclimate them to higher temperatures again. At least it mimics their natural conditions a little bit. Now I need your help answering one question. How the hell did the ants shit right there? I mean, there's only one way. They dug, then shat all over the wall, and then dug it back in. If that is the case, these ants are real a-holes, because I'm the one that has to clean it. This is a dead ant. Last time I put one in colony 3 to see how they would react. Let's just say they didn't like it. Colony 3 is a different species, by the way, but that colony has grown a lot since the last time. So I'm going to try it again to see how they react this time. My guess is they won't like it. At first, they seemed more curious than pissed, with a lot of ants just examining the body with their antennae. But I think soon they noticed that this wasn't a nest mate. They started dragging it into the nest, which is weird. Last time, they just threw the body on their pile of trash. But anyway, I'm going to cover this colony back up, because I don't want to expose them to light for too long. In the meanwhile, I was getting really tired of cleaning, so I'm going to try this and clean. Wait, what? Trying again. And clean. Why does this work for other YouTubers, but not me? Guess I'll have to clean for real. And clean. At least the terrarium is clean. That is the most important part, I guess. And yes, that was indeed some very crappy filming you saw there. Give it a score in the comments. Now it's finally almost time for the big move for Colony 2. It is about time, because I'm running out of animated titles. I think I've almost used them all. Anyway, let's go take a look in the nest of Colony 1. After I feed them. Yeah, I know I suck for stalling, but I totally don't do this so you guys watch longer, so YouTube thinks my video is great. and it gets recommended more and viewed more. Yeah, that's not what I'm doing. Anyway, these ants had trouble getting in the tube, so I had to build them a little ramp of sand. Wrong way, buddy. And they still have trouble finding the hole. Yeah, we've all been there, am I right? A few hours later, this is what I came back to. The seeds are gone and the ants are out. These are all fully grown adult ants, by the way, and the majors, like Bob, are almost as big as the queen. There she is. She was hiding under that rock. Let's follow her into the nest to see what she's up to. This is the first time I open it since they came out of hibernation. I try to do this as little as possible because it stresses out the ants. This is where they stash the seeds I gave them earlier. They have been exposed for 2 or 3 minutes, so it's time to cover them back up. Now for colony 2. Of course, if I want them to move, I need to give them a place to move to. Epic montage incoming. Yeah, it's just a regular montage, I guess. It's not that great. I'm adding some new bodengrund. And lastly, I'm giving them a fresh tube. Why? Because ants like tubes, that's why. But of course, I'm still hoping that they will move into this back wall here. And to increase that chance, I'm adding some water. This will make it easier for them to dig the tunnels. If we take a look at the back, you can see the water seeping through. Before hibernation, they started digging the tunnels, but of course they had to stop for winter. Let's see how the colony is doing. The most important thing is that the queen is alive. And yes, I know this footage sucks, but you try filming ants through 2 layers of glass with a phone and uncoordinated shaky hands. Guess I shouldn't be worried about the queen. She will outlive me, remember? All these white things are larvae. That means this colony is going to explode in numbers soon. And that is also why they need the big move. That was the last time, I promise. Did I mention I was really dumb already? Oh yeah, yes I did. I put the tube in the wrong way. I hope that is not what she said. The ants were becoming very active, but I couldn't keep watching, so I set up a time lapse. It looked like they were more interested in the hole in the back wall than in the tube. That's a good thing, because I'm hoping they move in there. I set up another time lapse. Man, I love time lapses. You can just set them up and go do other stuff. Perfect for lazy people. The queen wasn't ready to come out yet, but the workers kept working, because a day later the tunnels have become longer. And no, I'm not imagining stuff. I'm very observant, and I compared footages. Yup. They also started digging in the arena here. I don't mind, I'm just curious where they eventually will move into. As long as they get out of the old tube, it's fine by me. Another day later. Yes, the tunnels have become longer again. Trust me. I compared footages again. I didn't see the queen anymore, but I'm pretty sure she's still in there. The workers have blocked off the entrance to the new tube, so to be absolutely sure, I'm going to take a look inside. Nope, not in there. The ants have been working very hard for a few days now, so I thought, time for a lunch break. I don't know what that one right there is doing, but it's not working. Yet another day later. You know the drill, tunnels have increased, I have compared footages. But something is different. The larvae are almost all gone. The queen is still here though. I wonder where they moved them. Let's take a look in here again. There they are. I know it looks like they're moving into the new tube, but the workers kept digging tunnels, so I had a feeling that that tube wasn't their permanent home. I'm sorry, that sucked. Yes, their tunnels have increased. Why don't you just trust me? Pause and see for yourself. I thought this was just going to be the same old day until I saw this. They are moving the larvae into the tunnels. Let's hope the queen and the rest follow soon. Next day. Yes, this is the last time. If you don't see now that the tunnels have increased, you need glasses, or I need a better camera. The queen is still in the tube, so I guess we can call this the small move. Yeah, the big one will be for next video. Now that these ants have a new home, it's time to let them evolve from hunters to farmers. Yes, literally, they're going to milk their own livestock. And after that, we're going to give the biggest ant colony an expansion. So there is this ant species that has their own livestock that they milk. Yes, really, just like humans milk cows, and humans milk sheep, and humans milk goats, and humans milk... Wait, why do we milk so many things? Anyway, of course, I have these milking ants as pets, and in this video, I'm going to give them their own livestock. Whoosh. Now, you should know one important thing about me. I'm an idiot, so it was to my own surprise that I actually succeeded in getting them to milk these things. So now we need to do 3 things. First, find out what they milk. Next, we need to find and catch some of the livestock. And lastly, we need to get the ants to milk them. And that is the hardest part. These are black garden ants. And that is a weird name because they are black and usually live in gardens. Okay, yeah, maybe that name makes sense. So these ants milk aphids, and all they want is tap some aphid butt. No, I mean that literally. They tap the butts of the aphids to get them to produce honeydew. This is rich in sugar, and the ants eat it. And I'm very proud to say, my ants succeeded in tapping butts. Just like these ladybugs, which are the natural enemy of the aphids. In exchange for the honeydew, the ants protect the aphids from this predator. And I actually got some footage from an ant doing just that in the wild. I'll show you that later. First step, done. Second step, find and catch some aphids. And that is harder than you would think. That's what she said. I looked everywhere, but couldn't find them. Nope, not there either. That was until, and believe it or not, Bob here helped me find some. Bob loves eating ivy. He eats it all the time. Except for now, because I'm watching, he's pretending to be a stick. And as a biologist I can tell you, sticks don't eat. Anyway, I was cutting some ivy for Bob when I saw this. Aphids and a ladybug enjoying a walk-in dinner. But have no fear, the ants are here, the savior of the aphids. Yeah, they don't care. They're just stuffing their face with that sweet, sweet honeydew. You can actually see that her belly is full of it. But here comes the reinforcement, and she definitely noticed the enemy. I bet that that specific aphid feels very safe now the ants are here to protect her. Wait for it, here it finally comes. Oh, I'm sorry, I muted the footage, now with sound. That ant actually scared the shit out of him, or he was just full of the aphids he ate. The ants finally did their job, so they can leave. Anyway, I took home some leaves with aphids on them. And that means part 2 is done. Now we can get to part 3, get the ants to milk. So the goal is get some footage of ants tapping aphid butts, extracting some honeydew and eating it. Some of you might know, I already tried this 2 years ago. And back then it went so good. Yeah, just kidding, I'm an idiot, remember? I failed miserably. This is what the colony looked like back then. And after I let them settle in, I went to look for some aphids. Notice that these are green and not black like the ones we got now. First mistake. I was so confident and certain this would work. Spoiler alert, it didn't. I know what happened. You know what happened. These aphids don't know what happened because they all got eaten and killed by the ants. Wait, what? And for those wondering, yes, this was me filming this 2 years ago. The footage sucks, I know. So I watched the ants eat all the aphids I promised to protect. But now I learned from my mistakes. I know what I did wrong. This time, I'm not promising anything. So if they all get eaten again, at least I didn't lie. Yeah, it really was a massacre. Not cool. Okay, let's try it again. So this time, I'm giving them some proteins before I add the aphids. Hopefully, they have eaten enough and won't feel the need to eat the aphids once I add them. My goal is to make them full on proteins and empty and full on sugar. So I'm taking away their sugar water. You know what I hate about ant farms? The ants. This is annoying. So I'm adding the aphids. And hopefully the ants are in need for sugar more than protein. They immediately start going crazy. And now they have the tools to evolve from hunters to farmers. 2 years ago, they decided to stay hunters. The ants started to tickle the aphids instead of bringing them to the nest. That is what I call progress. I really thought this one was going to do it. Guess not. When I was filming this part, I noticed something very wrong. We have an escape attempt. Although attempt might be the wrong word, they already succeeded. Luckily for me, it was only one. Shit. They were everywhere. I had no clue how they were escaping, but the biggest problem was they were wandering further and further from the nest. And they can't in no case go over there. This is one of my other colonies, and as you can see, the ants in there are a lot bigger than the black garden ants. I'll let you take a look inside the nest. Challenge, try to spot the queen. Nope, that's not her. This is soldier ant. I'm sorry, I needed to give her some screen time. Anyway, this is the queen. As you know, I never have and never will let ants fight on this channel. So we need to do this first. And don't worry, you will see some ants eat aphid bud juice before the end of the video. Now first, I need to catch all the ants that escaped, find out where they escaped from, and then make sure they can't escape again. This looks interesting. Okay, at least I found where they unescape. Fixing this is going to require some very advanced tools. This terrarium has 2 lids to make sure the ants can't escape. You had one job. One. Anyway, I'm just putting on this lid while I fix the other one. Yeah, that's not working. And then I realized when I just put on this lid, there's no gap. I guess that worked. And now it's finally time for the thing you clicked on this video for. The ants milking their own livestock. And to increase the chance of them succeeding, I'm adding more aphids. Because more aphids means more aphid buds. And more aphid buds means more chance the ants get that sweet, sweet honeydew. Okay, here we go. It's finally happening. Watch closely. Wait, I'll play it again in slow motion. That is the honeydew, and here is the ant eating it. But wait, I got some more footage. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, no, it sucked. But hey, I'm the one who had to watch ants tap aphid bud for a week, and all I got is this lousy footage. My biggest ant colony has been growing uncontrollably, so it's time to give them their expansion. This is my giant ant farm, and inside there are hundreds, if not thousands, of harvester ants. This colony is growing extremely fast. They have a need to expand, but things are getting out of hand. Get it? Hand? Never mind. So 20 days ago, I decided to take action. This is what the colony looked like back then, and as you can see, the ants are cramped in there like, well, ants in an ant colony. I knew I had to do something, so first I'm going to give them the staircase. So yeah, I'm replacing this tube with a staircase. This way, the ants in the arena can go all the way up the staircase, like this. Yeah, you all know how a staircase works, but I bet you have never seen ants use one. Trust me, you want to see this. This colony is growing extremely fast, so a staircase alone is not going to cut it. Only 600 days ago, I received this ant colony in the mail, and back then it was just one queen and a few workers. They grew up so fast. 600 days later, this one queen has turned into multiple queens, because this colony has started producing virgin queens. Those are those small ones. Just kidding, it are the ones with wings. In nature, these would fly out, explore the wide world, mate, and start a new colony. So I decided to buy an expansion for this ant farm. This way, they can explore the wide world of another tiny glass box. Before I can attach the staircase and the expansion, I have two problems to solve. One big one and one small one. So the small one is, I've run out of space. And the big one, the ants live here and I moved all the way over there. That means I need to move hundreds of angry ants to this new spot, but I'm sure everything will go fine. Just fine. It didn't go fine. But how do you move this without the ants going everywhere? The answer, you don't. So I guess the ants are going everywhere. I'm taping the lids so the ants don't invade my car, although that would make a great video. If this video gets 100, no, not doing it. To move them, I will have to detach the different parts, so I'm making sure the ants can't get out when I do that. Yeah, the ants got out. But since I'm an idiot, I'm making it even worse. I don't know if you can tell by the look on my hands, but I was panicking here. Okay, this could have been worse. And luckily, I'm someone that learns from his mistakes, so this definitely won't happen again. Definitely. I'm securing this lid too, but of course, that's not enough to move them by car. I'm a man. I have to. I just have to. I have to say it. That is going nowhere. Don't do it. Just don't. That is going nowhere. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move. You won't believe how long this animation took. 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to make that. So please like this video and leave a comment. It's fire. We arrived. The ants seem to have survived the trip, but they definitely want to get out and be reunited with their sisters. I'm going to quickly clean this, just like that. Why does this never work for me? I just want to show you that ant keeping isn't all rainbows and unicorn beers. Ant keeping isn't all rainbows and beers. I like beers more than unicorns. No, ant keeping is ants and ant shit and escaping ants. Why do we even do this? Okay, that is clean. It's cleaner. I'm giving them some fresh substrate to replace the sand I took out. And then it was finally time for these ants to be reunited with their lost sisters. I really hope they still recognize each other and don't start fighting. They should still recognize each other through the pheromones they excrete, but before I can test that, they have to conquer the staircase. I'm going to attach the staircase now, but that is easier said than done, mainly because I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm doing. After the staircase, I'm also attaching the expansion so they can explore the new area. I'm blocking this off to be able to move the tube. Quick disclaimer, no ants were hurt in the making of this video. Okay, you know what happens next. This video isn't going great, is it? Trying again. And you can see the ants swarm my hand right there. At this point, I was being bitten a lot. I always wanted to know how that feels. Surprisingly, this sucks. I attached the staircase off screen, so all I need to do now is remove the paper. That's the easy part. Damn it. For the people that are still watching this, I respect you so much. I succeeded. First try. These ants are ready to go down the stairs, but now I also need to let these ones go up. At first, most of the ants were hesitant to get on the staircase. As you can see here, some of them were trying, but apparently climbing stairs as an ant, not that easy. Exhibit A. Eventually, they figured it out, so I'm going to make it harder for them. Next, I'm going to give them some seeds that they need to carry up there. That is going to be fun. But first, I'm attaching the expansion. I'm making sure that this part is attached right. I don't want the third installment of this. The other side is a ventilation hole. I'm adding some water because these ants like a more humid nest. Time to attach it. This time everything is going to go fine. Trust me. Yeah, I understand if you don't trust me anymore. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just going to move on. Most ants are hesitant, but Bob is not most ants. Bob started exploring everywhere, but because this is a new area, there might be bacteria, so she started cleaning her antennae and her moving on. I added this stick so it's easier for the ants to reach the new nest. Soon, Bob wasn't alone anymore. There was another ant that came to invade her personal space. Soon, the new nest was covered in ants, so it wouldn't take them long to start digging in there. In the meanwhile, the ants in the arena have been busy. They have covered the water tube with sand. This way, the sand absorbs the water and they can use it to build hills and tunnels. What are you guys, termites? Now, let's see if they can carry these seeds up the stairs. The seeds are stashed in this nest here, so they need to carry them up the stairs to get them there. At first, I thought they wouldn't even try to carry them up, but then, again, Bob to the rescue. Bob is struggling, but with your like on this video, she will make it. Just kidding, your like will do nothing, but do it anyway, please. Bob is almost up there. She will bring the seed to the stash in the nest. There, other ants will chew the seeds, mix them with their saliva, yummy, and turn it into kind of ant bread that helps develop the colony. The queen lays eggs that turn into the larvae. These larvae feed on the ant bread, like these ones here. After a while, they turn into pupae of different sizes, and these eventually will emerge as adult workers, or queens. You probably came here to see some brain dead ant content, and now you learned something. Haha, got you. Anyway, carrying seeds up the stairs seems too easy now, so again, I'm going to make it harder for them, give them another challenge. I want to see them carry this up there now. That is like a human carrying a car up the stairs. Day 7 after attaching the expansion, and the ants are holding a team meeting. As a biologist, I can tell you, these are ants. Hope that helps. They have started digging tunnels on the side here, and also on the other side of the nest. Always fascinating to see. I will show you a time lapse later. Another 3 days later, and the ants have expanded the tunnels. A winged queen even showed up. She's exploring the whole wide world of this tiny glass box. I think she likes it. They are very busy expanding the tunnels, not only in the front, but also on the side of the nest. This is not sand, by the way. This is a special foam called Dig Fix, designed for ants. Even the winged queen is helping, so she's basically a worker, but fancy. As promised, a time lapse. By day 20, they will have a whole network of tunnels. But first, I want to give the ants on the stairs their new challenge. This is a frozen silkworm. They look and smell disgusting. If this video gets 200,000 likes, I will test the taste. Why do I do this again? I could have given them this in the nest to make it easier for them, but in the wild, they also need to catch their own frozen silkworms. So it's more natural this way. Just kidding. I want to see them struggle up the stairs. I set up this time lapse for a few hours. This way I could see them pass. But when I came back from my work, I noticed that the silkworm was gone and I hadn't seen them pass. This probably means they carried it up in small pieces. Boring. Day 15 has arrived and we have a big problem. See that white stuff? That is mold. And as a biologist, I can tell you, mold, not good. It is probably because the ants started to collect their trash up here. So I need to keep a close eye on this to make sure the mold doesn't expand. Besides the mold, they also have been digging more tunnels, even at the bottom of the nest. They even started storing some seeds in here, probably the secret stash of Bob. On day 20, the tunnels have expanded, but the mold too. And as a biologist, I can tell you, mold not good. Yeah, I told you that before. If it gets worse, I need to deattach, remove all the ants, disinfect, and reattach. And I really don't want to do that for reasons. So I'm going to try to stop the mold with UV light, ventilation, and maybe the most effective, positive thoughts. And the first people to know if this works are my patrons. And if a few of you join, let's say 20,000, I will be able to buy more expansions for this ant colony and fill this whole room with one colony. Must be cool. Now please go watch this video next. Thank you to all members, patrons, and everyone that watched, and welcome to the new patrons. Think you'll like this video next. Bye.